Ooh, look at that hottie. He looks pretty cute. And also wearing all these designer clothes. I bet he's rich. Let me check out his Insta. He's always out and about in limos and 5-star hotels. I'll totally swipe right to that. Girl, you better watch out. You don't know if that might not be the Tinder swindler. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Laura. I'm a finance coach and entrepreneur based in Bali, and on this channel we explore the tools and strategies that help us level up to live happier and richer lives. Today we're off to talk about something very exciting but also very shocking. The Tinder Swindler. I'm not sure if you have heard of the Tinder Swindler yet, but it's a very trending documentary on Netflix, and it's based on a true story of a group of women who have been swindled by their Tinder date Simon, and he got hundreds of thousands or even millions out of them. I know this sounds insane, and if you haven't watched the documentary yet, it might sound a bit unrealistic, but actually when you watch it, it's very mind-blowing that this actually worked, and it's very engaging. If you haven't watched it yet, don't worry, you'll still be able to take out a lot of this video, but I will make sure to link the Tinder Swindler documentary in the description box down below. So when I watched it, I was literally in shock the whole time. It's these moments when you're just sitting there, watch something, and you're like, what the actual fuck? How is this happening? How is this true? And how could women actually fall for this? I will get into the details and my learnings in this video, but I want to mention before that I'm not blaming, I'm not judging the women it happened to. I actually feel a lot of compassion for them, because imagine you fall for a guy and then he's basically just lying on you. He's taking the most out of you. He's using you just to get to your money. This must be a very traumatizing experience, and I really hope that these women will be able to find true love. So whenever I say something or the learnings I made in this video, I'm really not judging them. Also, I consider myself quite lucky because I have been in a relationship for almost 10 years and I've been married for almost 4 years. So I never really experienced the whole dating world with Tinder. I can imagine it must be really interesting. All right, let's jump into my 5 learnings that I made from the Tinder Swindler documentary. Number 1, red flags are there for a reason. One thing that all the women swindled by Simon have in common, that they were so charmed and completely dazed up by Simon that they ignored all of his red flags. The main point of red flags, of them being red, is that once you see them and once you realize they are there, you run. Run as far as you can and as fast as you can. Especially for the first girl, his flags must have been quite evident. I mean, what type of guy asks a girl for 25,000 after dating for just 1 month? That's not something a decent guy would do, right? The very sad thing here is that girl didn't even have that type of money, so she took out a loan for him. Also, the fact that Simon was exposing the women to the life-threatening dangers from his enemies is also kind of a red flag. He also asked one of his girlfriends to come to the place where he was obviously in danger and had this life-to-death threats from his enemies. Like, what on earth? How would a guy that actually loves you and cares about you ask you to come to a place where he is in danger already? A guy that actually loves and cares about you would never put you in a position of danger. Would you actually do that? Imagine a guy that you just met and dated for a month. He's texting you, oh my God, I'm in danger. I got some death threats from my enemies. Why don't you come over and hold my hand while I'm crying? What the fuck? Not in a million years would I go there then. And so shouldn't you. Number 2, never trust your Google research. Though it's important to do a background check and Google is usually the place to go, what we learned from this documentary that you cannot trust it 100%. Because not always everything you see is actually true. We saw how Simon twisted the reality and made it seem like he was the son of the King of Diamonds, Lev Leviev. Now, I don't really know about the info available back then, but one quick Google search today will show you that Lev Leviev has 9 kids and none of them are called Simon. There's tons of information out there and obviously it's hard to fact check every article on every website. So the best thing that you can do in these cases is to take your Google research with a grain of salt. Is that how you say it? Like, be a little bit critical about it. Number 3, if it's too good to be true, well, it might be. Ever heard of the term love bomb? This is Simon's technique to lure in women. He bumps them with love and money, which actually comes from other women, up to the point where these women just trust him blindly. By this time, Simon will then execute his plan to extort as much money as he can out of them. It sounds pretty sick, doesn't it? But these women all fell for this too good to be true prince love story, and that's why they also became so invested into it. As Elsa said, you can't marry a man you just met, but in this scenario maybe you can't lend thousands of dollars to a man you just met. Number 4, trust your instincts. Another thing that these women have in common is that they all had this little inner voice that was telling them not to lend thousands of dollars to Simon because they had other things to do with that kind of money, or they didn't even have the money to start with. But they didn't listen to that voice because for them, Simon's needs were more important and also more urgent. I mean, why would I hesitate lending $25,000 to a person that I love that could save their lives? It may be really harsh to say trust nobody ever in this world right now, but you also never know who will use you and who has actually good intentions, especially if you just met them. It should also concern you that they put so much pressure on you, especially if they know that you don't have this kind of money and you have to go to a bank and take a loan. If Simon would be so wealthy, he would have a network of other wealthy people he could easily lend money from. But as we all know, he wasn't really wealthy. So trust your instincts, girl. When something doesn't seem right, listen to your gut and don't let anybody pressure you into things that you don't actually want to do. Number 5, always think twice. I know we only live once, but it's important to actually think about the consequences of your decisions. Before committing to anything, think it through. What kind of impact your decision will have on your life, what consequences they are. It's always good to take your time to make a decision. He asked you to hop on a flight on his private jet with him on your first date. Well, great if you think YOLO now, but what if he's a serial killer? What if he's someone who sells organs on the black market or even belongs to a human trafficking group? I mean, I'm all here thinking positive and manifesting your wildest dreams, but you also should consider thinking about those things from time to time too, especially if we're talking about a guy you just met. I mean, I know there are hopeless romantics out there, and I totally believe in true love, and I even believe in love at first sight because it was the way for me and my husband. But if something feels shady, just don't. No, it's probably not worth it. It will either cost you maybe your life or thousands of dollars. I know this seems a lot, but these are the key things that you should keep in mind when swiping left or right. There are so many scammers out there and also dangerous people, and I really want you to manifest true love and hope that it will come to you, and I know it will come to you. Just be cautious when you're meeting people online, when you're dating them, when you put yourself out there. Be safe, girl. I actually do still have a lot to say about the Tinder Swindler. There are some really just mind-blowing things happening in that documentary, and it's really disturbing me so much that I cannot sleep at night sometimes. That's why I'm thinking about actually doing a whole Tinder Swindler series. Let me know what you think about that, and if you want me to go more into detail about this. If you like this video, please make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because I have tons of amazing content coming your way, and I upload new videos every Tuesday. And if you also press the bell, you will not miss another video, and I will see you in the next video then. Bye!